Hello everyone, welcome to DevOps for Your Family. The topic which I'm going to walk you through today is all about how we can create custom Docker file, and we are going to create a custom Docker file on my local laptop, or I can say the local environment. Then I'm going to push that file into GitHub, and I'll be also pushing that into Docker Hub, and from anywhere we can able to download that image which I'm going to push. Everyone in the world, anyone can able to pull that image and run into their local if they have the Docker install on their respective system. Okay, let's start for the today's session. Okay, so let me walk you through the objective. So objective is this is guys. So create your own image using Nginx and include a custom index.html file that can be viewed in your local browser, and deploy your container with port 8081. I will explain you why I'm using 8081 and later in this session. Push the custom image to your GitHub account and also push your local files to GitHub repository so that anyone can pull that image and run that Docker file or the container on their local system. Okay, let's get started. So yeah, so these are the steps we are going to perform in today's lab. So first we need to create a directory, and then we need to open the directory, and we need to just open the directory with the git bash, and we need to initiate that one. I have done these steps. I will show you. Okay, and we need to create an index.html file and create a Docker file instruction. There are a couple of instruction if you are aware of Docker. Anyway, I'm going to explain in another detailed video about all the Docker commands. So there are few like instruction for creating a Docker file, like example from, and I can say work dir and run command, cmd command, add, copy, and environment variables, env, and these are some instruction that we need to input to create the Docker file. And then we'll be list the Docker images and run the Docker images which I created locally. Then we will validate the Docker container, then push that code into GitHub, and also I'm going to push the image which I created locally to the Docker Hub. Then I'll be just pulling, or I can say not pull, I will run the command, run Docker command to run the container. So these are the detailed steps, guys. Okay, now if I open my IDE, this is Visual Studio Code. You see, this is the um, folder where I have kept all my files. Okay, and if we go here, and this is, I'm just going here to just check the current working directory. Okay, we go to new terminal, and here I have to choose to git bash. Okay, okay, pwd. So in the E drive, I have a folder called Docker Rajesh Nginx, and I have already initiated this folder by just git init, so that this folder get initiated, so that all the changes get tracked. And also I have renamed that. By default it will come with a master branch. I have just rename that into main, master to main, by just git branch anch hyphen m. Okay. Okay, okay. Git br and hyphen l main. So for example, if I want to change this to master, okay, fine. You see, now this has been changed to master. Instead of master, I'm just changing this to branch hyphen l main. It's not all about main or master. So recent days, it's kind of a there was some practice to change this to master to main. Yeah, fine. And I will walk you through the files I have kept in this folder. Okay, so first is the Docker file. So yeah, and I have a README file which I created. What are the uh, objective and how we can? What is the step we need to perform? Each and every step I have just written in this file readme.nb. Anyway, I'm going to push this into my GitHub account that is publicly accessible. And yeah, I also like input the name which we need to download from the Docker hub. Okay, fine. Let me go to the Docker file. If you see this, as I mentioned before, there was a instruction, couple of instruction we need to include while creating the Docker file. The first one is from, and this from is just to download the base image for our images, or I can say to run the container. And I'm just pulling the Nginx stable alpine image, and I just maintainer is just obsolete, but I just thought of mention here with my name. And copy command, what we are doing here is I have an index.html file, copy that index.html file to the container default directory of the Nginx, like user share Nginx html. This is the default folder where we are replacing with the default index.html with my local index.html. I'm also exposing the port as 8081. This port we need to run in our localhost 8081. The default port for Nginx inside the container is always 80. This is for our local port mapping. Okay, and this is the command that is used to run when the container is created. That is because every container has process. So when the process is running, the container also will run. If the process exit, the container will when go into stop state. So here we are just running this container in the background mode. That's how this command work. Okay, I hope I have you get some idea what I'm doing here. Then I have my index.html. This is not it's just a fancy kind of stuff. I will show you once I just run this image. Okay, fine. Now what I will do, I will go to my Visual Studio Code and I open my terminal. By the way, uh, I have two branch here. If I post git branch, okay, main and future. So I have also created my GitHub account uh, in the repository. If you see, this is the repository which I created for the same files. Okay, and the repository name is Docker Nginx. Okay, so this has a branch protection rules. We go here. Okay, we go to branches. If I edit, okay, I have enabled require a pull request before merging. Okay, so we cannot able to push this if any changes directly into the main. We have to create a new branch from the new branch we need to raise the pull request before we merge into the main branch. This is as per the enterprise standard. We are not just going to push anything directly to main branch. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just check out to the future branch. Fine. Now you see previously I am into main branch. Now I switched my branch to feature. What I will do, I have a image. Okay, I just thought of copy this image. That means I'm doing some changes. And if I go here, okay, paste. Okay, fine. If you see, I have that image here. Okay, I'll show you what is this image contain. Just a web page. Okay, this is self-explanatory what I'm doing here. I'm just committing my local changes. I'm pushing that to GitHub, and also I'm pushing my customized Docker image to Docker Hub, and I'm just running that Docker container on my local system. Yeah. So now here the agenda, or I can say the task what we are going to perform here is to first we need to work on the git to commit into local repository. Okay, if I git status, there was one file modified, and if I git diff, okay, so this is just giving me the idea what was the change here. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to add this change, git add, and git commit -m. I'm given updated gif images. Fine. So now there won't be any changes now. So if I just want to check what is the last change which I did online, so this is the change. If you see, this is the command I have just updated. Now we want to push this changes to my remote repository. So git push origin future. I'll be just creating this with a branch called future. Okay, so now this has been pushed to my remote branch. If I go here, okay, go to this repository, you see, and there is a message like future had a recent push. Okay, I had to just select my branch, future branch. Okay, and I have to create a pull request. Okay, so now I'll just updating this one, updated this one, and maybe what you have to do, right, just update this one, create a pull request. So now we have the pull request created from the future branch to main branch. Okay, so now if we go to here, and there is one pull request open. Okay, so just open that one and one commit. Okay, we just want to know what is the change before we merge into the branch, right? So if you see, this is the change we perform in our local branch, and now this looks good, right? So we are good to merge this one. Okay, what I'm giving here, the command alg all looks good. Okay, merge pull request, confirm merge. So now I'm merging this to my main branch. Okay, fine. And also I can able to delete this branch once I merge. Okay, so code. So if I go to my main branch, there won't be any branch available, and this is the file. You can able to see the file which I updated, that was get merged into my main branch code. Now we want to test this local file in our local system before we push this to Docker Hub. Okay, fine. So now Docker images. I have one Nginx image, but I don't have any my custom image. Okay, I need to create a I need to first build a Docker image. Okay, for building that one, we have a command docker build -t. This is for the tags. So I will just give Rajesh Nginx, and we have to give the Docker file path. Since the file was in the local same directory, I'm giving a context here dot. Okay, yeah. Now it's building the Docker file. So if you see what was happened, it just pulled out the Nginx image, the base image. Then it's like it's just gone through these steps what we mentioned here. Okay, and I just missed one point, why I have exposed the local port as 8081. The reason is, if you see my uh, docker ps, this is the container I am running in my local. There are two containers. If you see, one is Nginx, that is a test image I created, and another one is Jenkins. I'm running my Jenkins container in my local for my automation task, and that is running 8080. So that is the reason I cannot able to use 8080, or I can put any other local host port. I thought of just creating the next available port, that is 8081. That is the reason I have mentioned here as 8081. Okay, fine. And also I just want to show you, like, this is my Jenkins dashboard which is running with. There are a couple of I'm working on some script for the AWS automation and Azure automation stuff, which I'll be sharing, creating the video for the same. Okay, fine. Now back to Docker images. Now I have built this image. If I just go and run Docker images, previously if you see, there won't be there was Nginx image, but it now I have built a new images with Rajesh Nginx. Okay, so now I need to run a container by referring this image. Okay, there is a command to run this image locally, docker run -d for detached mode, and we need to map the port -p 8081. This is the port I referred in my Docker file. If you see this Docker file, I have mentioned it 80. This exposed 8081, and inside the container it's 8080. Sorry, 80. So host port is 8081 and the container port is 80. Default port is Nginx 80. Fine. Now I just want to name my container like the same name, or I can say DFU NGIN. DFU just DevOps for your channel name. And what is the image I need to utilize for this one? So the image name is Rajesh Nginx, which we created, this one. Okay, so now if I run this 8081 before I create this one, okay, if I go here and just localhost, okay, 8081, you see we won't see any container or any page website is getting launched. Okay, The moment I run this command, okay, now if you see docker ps, fine. So previously, if you see, there is only two container running. Now if you see, there was a three container. One is the image name which we created, so Rajesh Nginx, and the container id, this is the new container which got created now. This is up for 4 seconds and it's using 8081 local port to 80, that is the container port. Now if I go and run this, if I refresh, if you see, it was already refreshed. Yeah, yeah, this is something I just created, and I would like take a moment to thank my elder son Nadishwaran for this amazing gesture poster. Like, yeah, so to our DevOps for your channel. Thank you, Nadish. Yeah. So now this container is running. We have created this container by creating a Docker file. And also, if you just click this one, this will take you to our channel, that is DevOps for you. Okay, fine. Now this is running in my local, fine. But if someone want to access this all over the world using the internet, if they have the Docker installed in their local, so how that can be achieved? We need to push this image to Docker Hub. Okay, so before pushing the Docker image, there we need to name, or I can say tag the image with the proper format. That is, I will show you what is the proper format here. So if I go here, okay, if I want to push this image, we have to just tag docker tag and the image name and the tag name, that is in our case that will be Rajesh Nginx, and the docker hub username slash image name and the tag name. Okay, this is if you don't mention tag, that will be like updated as local, sorry, latest. And here I'm just I thought of creating this as this is my Docker Hub username, and this is our image name, and this is the version. Okay, so now I'm going to create or tag this image as per the Docker format. Docker tag and Rajesh Nginx. This is our local image name. Before that, I will show you Docker images. Fine. So if you see, there is only one image that is called Docker. Rajesh Nginx. Now I'm going to tag this with Docker tag, and the local image name what we are having is Rajesh Nginx, and we need to format this image with the Docker repository and those stuff. KB Rajeshwaran slash Nginx, and I'm just going to name this p0.0. Fine, 0.0. Fine. Now if I just run this Docker images, can you able to see this image which is created just now? Okay, now, and I want to just Docker login. I have already logged in, so just Docker login. Okay. Yeah, it has already logged in. Fine. Now I need to push this image to Docker Hub. So before that, I will show you how the Docker Hub looks like. And yeah, hub.docker.com. If you go here, this is my username, and there won't be any repository. There was few files. This is my repository that contain few images. Now once I push the image, that image will populated here with the tag name which I created before. Yeah, so docker push kbrajs slash nginx p dot 0.0. Yeah, if you see, this will take a couple of seconds to push this to hub.docker.com, and once this is done, I will show you how to run this image or pull this image. Fine. Now this has been pushed to Docker Hub. Fine. So if I go here, just refresh. Yeah, you see KB Rajeshwaran Nginx, right? So if you click here, okay, and if you want to just this is, you can just pull this. This is for pushing, and you go here, tags, okay. If you want to just pull this image, Docker pull. This is a publicly available image. Anyone can just run this locally. Docker pull images and notepad. Fine. If you need to run this one, you have to just, for pulling this image, you just uh, pulling the image, you won't run your container. For running, we need to input a command called docker run. I will show you in a moment. So here, someone asks, how should I know which port I need to use, or how that can be tracked, right? So if you go here, in this instruction, you can able to see, like, for example, this is the one, right? The last one, the exposed port 8081. This is the one I created, and this is the index.html, and who created this one, and this is the one. Fine. Now, what I will do, I will just docker ps docker rm -f. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove my container which I created locally, docker rm by forcing, because else you need to stop and remove. I'm just removing forcefully, docker rm -f. This will remove your container, running container forcefully. Docker ps, if you see, there will be only two containers running now. Now docker images. Fine. I'm also going to remove the existing local image, docker or mi. This is the command to kb rajesh varan plus nginx v0.0, and also I'll be just removing the local one which we created, rajesh nginx, rajesh nginx. Okay. Yeah. So now we don't have anything in our local, so there won't be no local image or the existing one, and no container related to this one. Now I'm going to directly run this container in my local. What I can do, I can pull and run, but I'm going to, this command will pull and run. This is the one command where you can just pull the images and run the container. Docker run -d. The format is same, T for detached mode and T detached mode, and what you can say, hyphen T, no, docker run -d. Okay, detached mode -p. What I will do is 8081, because I can use any port for like 5500. Okay, and what I will do, I will use 8081 and 80 hyphen name and name docker run hyphen d hyphen p 8081, and the name I'm going to give Rajesh. This term what I will do, I can give Nginx. What is the day? 26/07/23, and the name of the image KBRAJS Nginx v0.0. Fine. Yeah, that one. Okay. And put hyphen n. Fine. What I will do, hyphen net. Okay. Yeah. So now this is going to search the image in the local. There won't be any image available in the local. So what it's doing, it's going to search in Docker Hub, and it's just fetching that one, and it's going to run the container. If we Docker ps, you see, before there was only 2 containers running. Now the third container, which I just created 20 seconds ago, and yeah, fine, same images. Yeah, and we are end of the demo. Yeah, thank you guys, thanks for watching, have a good day, bye bye.